In today's video, we're going to be showing you how you can measure power output on your devices using this one simple device. Now, this is called a KillAWatt. I'll put a link to it in the description below. But essentially what you do is you plug the KillAWatt into the outlet, and then you plug the device into this side of the KillAWatt. Pretty simple, really easy, really hard to mess up. Basically what it'll do, power passes through it, and it measures it in different ways. Now let's take a quick look at what a couple of the features it can do. So basically, when you've got it on the original mode, volt mode, it measures the volts coming out of your wall. Normally, this is in America, it's between 110, 120, or 115 to 120-ish. That's where it should be. I'm not an electrician, just so you know. It's got amps. Amps will measure the amperage output, so how much current your device is drawing. It's got watts. Under watts, it'll measure how many watts your device is drawing. VA, can be honest, I don't know what that one is. It's got hertz. So hertz is the frequency of your power, since we have AC. It should be about 60 hertz, really close to it. If it's not, you got issues. And then it's got power factor, which, as I understand it, is kind of like efficiency. The closest to 1 is the best. Then it can measure kilowatt hours over time. It's power over time. So it can measure how much power you're using over time. So let's just say you leave your computer plugged into it or a lamp plugged into it over time. It'll tell you, well, your computer used 1 kilowatt hour. And then it's also got the hour button down there where you can say, where you can see that, okay, we've had it plugged in and running for an hour. Well, looks like we're using one kilowatt hour or 1 kilowatt per hour. Anyway, so what I did here is to measure it, you just set up the device, you plug your kilowatt in, you plug the device into the kilowatt, and then you can turn it on. Let's see. And what you do with the device, so you want to measure how many amps your device is pulling, you go over to the amps category. And here I'm using a simple household shredder to shred up some documents I got in the mail, nothing crazy. As you can see, it draws, when I'm running it, it'll draw about 0.8 amps. Or 1, depends on the thickness of the paper, obviously, or how much power it's going to use. But it'll draw that temporarily. If you look at watts, you can see how many watts it's drawing at that instant. Then it kind of gives you an idea of how much it uses, right? So here we've got it at 100-ish. There's a lot of different cool things you can check. And then one other thing you can do with it is, I wasn't running for very long, but let's just say I had 0.25 kilowatt hours on here. So what you do is you figure out what your electric rate is for your area, because every area is different. I'll just use a national average here, or a random average I found is 11.84 cents per kilowatt hour, and that's how many kilowatts you use in any given hour. So if you were using 1,000 watts, you'd use 1 kilowatt hour. If you were using 1,000 watts for 1 hour, that's 1 kilowatt hour. Or 2,000 watts, 2 kilowatt hours. Pretty basic stuff, nothing crazy there. It's exactly as it sounds. Anyway, so let's just say you use 1/4 of a kilowatt hour. For some reason, you were shredding like hell for a long time at that 11.84 average that I found. And you can find out how many cents it probably cost you to do that. And that was about 3 cents. Now, that's just a pretty cool feature this thing has. And certain other models from KillAWatt also offer an ability to enter in an average, or to have it give you the rough cost of running something. And obviously you can use it on different devices to see which ones use more. One cool feature, let's see if I got a video of it. One cool thing that I noticed on it is when you're not running it, let's just say you've got a device. Like my shredder, it has a little status LED when I have it turned on that lights up green. Now obviously that's not free power, so this is a cool feature you can look at to see when I've got it clicked to on but not actually running. You can see how much power it draws if you just leave it in standby mode versus turning the device actually off. Now, this is a good way to help lower your electricity usage if you don't necessarily need that device in standby mode. For this one, it's not very much. It won't really make a difference. If I left it, it's a minimal difference. Um, but let's say you've got a TV or something else, something that takes a lot more power on standby that you don't really need to be on standby. You can use this to kind of detect, well, that's using way too much. That's going to raise my electricity bill. And if you try to, you can use it on more than one device over time, right? Just measure them, see, well, that's using a lot, that one's using a lot, that one's using a lot. It can help you lower your electricity bill by identifying where your problems are. Anyway, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe.